2023's winter anime season is upon us. In this video, we'll be telling you all about several of the most noteworthy upcoming anime that'll be premiering this winter season. There are several continuations of popular anime coming out, as well as brand new anime that have a lot of potential, including one particular original anime that looks perfect for fans of Spy Family. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll start with what we think are some of the biggest sequels coming out in 2023. Let's get started. One of the first anime we'd like to talk about is the second season of Tokyo Revengers, titled Tokyo Revengers Christmas Showdown. If you're not familiar with the anime, it's the story of a young man named Takemichi who travels back in time in order to change events in the past to save his friends in the future. It's a lot like Erased, just with teenage delinquents instead of grade schoolers. Plus, a lot more action and fighting. Fans of Tokyo Revengers have a lot to look forward to with the Christmas Showdown arc being adapted this season. Another big anime receiving a second season this winter is Vinland Saga, which, as far as we know, is the only anime about Vikings. It's a loose adaptation of two Icelandic texts from the 13th century collectively known as the Vinland Sagas. It does sound a bit boring when you put it like that, but trust us, Vinland Saga is one epic anime. Season 2 is extra exciting for fans because it's where the actual main story begins. The whole first season was somewhat famously just Vinland Saga's prologue, so here is where the fun really begins. A much more low-stakes anime that's getting a new season is the slice-of-life rom-com Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. The first season was a big hit back in 2021 thanks to its memorable characters and plot. The basic premise is that it's about a girl named Nagatoro who loves to tease one of her shy upperclassmen. It doesn't have much of an overarching story, but it sure is a lot of fun. We'll all be more than happy to see Nagatoro and her senpai come back for another season. Meanwhile, it looks like Bungo Stray Dogs is back for its fourth season. This will be adapting the Cannibal Aftermath arc and the Hunting Dogs arc. It'll be great to see all of our favorite characters in the armed detective agency back again. If you haven't seen Bungo Stray Dogs, we recommend it, especially if you love Roaring Twenties aesthetic and anime like 91 Days or Bakano. This season, sport fans get to see Tsurune get a second season as well. The sports in question is archery, one that's not exactly the focus of many stories, but that just makes Tsurune even more unique. Plus, with Kyoto Animation at the helm, you can bet we'll be seeing plenty of beautifully animated scenes in the new season. One classic anime that's not getting a sequel but rather a reboot is Trigun, with the new anime Trigun Stampede. If you're a fan of 90s anime, then you may already be familiar with the classic space western Trigun. It's the story of a pacifist gunslinger named Vash the Stampede on his quest to stop his evil twin brother. Some fans of the original are a bit skeptical about this one, especially when it comes to Vash's new design. But really, only time will tell if Trigun Stampede can live up to the original. The last of the many returning shows airing this winter we'd like to talk about is the new season of BOFURI. Or if you'd prefer its full title, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, so I'll max out my defense. But that's a mouthful, so everyone just says BOFURI. The title basically sums up the plot. It's about the adventures of a young woman in a virtual reality game who really hates getting hurt, so she puts all of her points into defense. It's a very funny show that we'll all be happy to see make its return. But let's take a break from all the new seasons of old shows and take a minute to go over some brand new anime making their big debut this winter. The first one we'd like to talk about is an anime called Revenger. No, not Tokyo Revengers. We already talked about that show. This one just happens to have a similar title. The story of Revengers is about an assassin named Usui Yuen, investigating a series of murders targeting a samurai clan. Usui joins forces with a samurai named Kurima Raizo who survived one of the attacks. Together, they look into the true nature of these murders. Mystery and historical fiction are an interesting genre combination, so we're excited to see how this one turns out. For any horror fans, one Netflix exclusive anime arriving in January is called Junji Ito Maniac. It's a horror anthology adapting several works of the famous horror manga author Junji Ito. His chilling, grotesque style of horror is often compared to H.P. Lovecraft, so if you want to be scared this January, give this one a watch. Or if you want an anime that's the complete opposite of that, then you may want to check out Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister. It's the story of a shut-in named Mahiro who one day wakes up to find that his mad scientist sister has transformed him into a girl. Hijinks ensue. And yeah, it's not the deepest or most artistic anime out there, but hey, not every anime has to be a masterpiece. If you just want something fun and silly to watch, then this anime just might be the right choice. But if you're looking for an anime to fit the cold winter season, Uyuki Umi no Kaina is a very intriguing choice. It takes place in the world where the entire world is covered by a seemingly never-ending snowstorm. People either live at the roots of the giant tree or above the clouds in the canopy. Here, the story follows a girl named Kaina who lives in the canopy, meeting a girl from the snowy world below named Lilha. From the trailers we've seen, the world of Uyukiumi no Kaina is filled with striking visuals and interesting world building. Plus, it has a very unique animation style that mixes traditional animations with CGI. Meanwhile, in the world of sports, there's a new sports anime called Mao Ippon airing this winter season. It's about two high school freshmen named Michi and Sane who join their school's judo club, only to find out that Michi's middle school judo club rival is also a member of the club. And not only that, but it seems that the club has seen better days, is on the brink of collapse. A lot of female-led sports anime tend to mostly be focused on fan service, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. But Mao Ippon looks like it's more focused on telling a serious female-led story, which we think is exciting. The anime that we're most excited for this winter is a little show called Buddy Daddies. It's a show that looks heavily inspired by Spy Family. It's the story of two men named Rei and Kazuki who are involved in organized crime. During a shootout, they encounter a little girl named Miri, who is the daughter of a mafia boss. The two of them end up taking in Miri, and they try to raise her together. It sounds like a series with potential to be equally parts heartwarming, adorable, and hilarious. Definitely a must-watch if you want an anime similar to Spy Family. Before we move on from this section of the video, we're going to have a little something we like to call the Isekai lightning round. The Isekai genre is a lot like what the magical girl genre used to be. You can't scroll through your social media feed without finding a half dozen brand new Isekai anime. So since there are so many, we're gonna go over several of the winter season's most noteworthy Isekais all at once. Starting with Handyman Saito in Another World. It's the story of a regular handyman who, now in a fantasy world, uses his various handyman skills to solve problems. In his old life, Saito constantly felt undervalued, but in this world, a man with his skills is one of a kind. It is definitely a feel-good story of sort. Speaking of real-world skills in a fantasy world, here's our next Isekai entry, Farming Life in Another World. After a sickly man named Machio dies of an illness, he reincarnates with a healthy body in a fantasy world. But unlike most isekai heroes who are too preoccupied slaying demon lords, all he wants is to become a farmer. It certainly sounds like a comfy, peaceful sort of show that's perfect for if you want an isekai that isn't all about action. In comparison, the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in Another World looks to be a much more traditional isekai. Although, instead of someone from our world going to a fantasy world, it looks like the main character started in a fantasy world and reincarnated. So far, it looks like it has the potential to be a fun and dramatic adventure. Our next anime is saving 80,000 gold in Another World for my retirement. Instead of being trapped in the fantasy world, our heroine, Mitsuha, is able to transport between it and the real world at will. Sort of like what happens in Inuyasha. As the title of this show so helpfully tells us, the main plot is about Mitsuha and her quest to collect gold using various different plans. Seems like a fun idea, especially the concept of using switching between dimensions to your advantage. The final isekai we'll be talking about in our lightning round is called Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill. It's part isekai and part cooking show. The protagonist Mukura has the seemingly useless ability to buy groceries from a modern-day Japanese supermarket while trapped in a fantasy world. Together with a giant wolf named Fenrir, Mukura travels across the land while using his ability to cook meals for the people he meets. Combining cooking and isekai has proved successful before, such as in the popular manga Delicious in Dungeon, which coincidentally also has an anime adaptation in the works. Okay, and that ends the Isekai Lightning Round. To cap off this year's winter season, we'd like to go over just a few upcoming anime movies that we think may be worth checking out. First, for any retro anime fans, there's the crossover film Lupin the Third vs. Cat's Eye. It's made to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Lupin anime and the 40th anniversary of the Cat's Eye anime. A crossover between these two is natural since they're both series about thieves, and seeing the Lupin gang interact with the Cat's Eye sisters should definitely be a treat. Meanwhile, if you're a fan of mecha anime, then you may want to see Gridman Universe this March. It's a follow-up to both SSSS Gridman and SSSS Dyna Xenon. So if you want more of Studio Trigger's signature over-the-top mech action, then Gridman Universe may be just the place to be. Another popular anime that's getting a film is Black Clover with the Netflix exclusive movie Black Clover Sword of the Wizard King. It's an all-new original story set in Black Clover's world, so even if it's not based on the manga, Black Clover fans can still enjoy all of their favorite characters in a new movie. If you're a big music lover, then the film Blue Giant may just be for you. It's the story of a high school basketball player who gets into the world of jazz music. Anime focused around music are always great because they put a lot of extra effort into making sure they have a killer soundtrack. Whew, wow, that's a lot. Believe us, there are a lot of new anime coming out every season. and these are just the ones we thought were the most exciting. But what do you think? Which anime are you most excited about for this winter?